Sorya's little sister?
It was pretty tough. He ate all of my food. He would take my belongings and borrow them. They never come back. Yeah, it was pretty tough.
So I grew up with mom, dad, little brother, and a little sister. I'm the oldest of the three.
Growing up with him was pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, I don't think I could ever see myself with another sibling. You know, not even with my sister.
He's the one that my sister butts head with a lot.
My dad, he's always been the guy that, I guess, the way he was raised is you speak up for what you believe in, and you fight your battles, and you choose and pick, the battles that you want to choose, So growing up watching how my dad was, that it affected all of us because we chose not to be little weaklings, We decided to be strong, independent people, and that's why we're so tough. Is my dad pushed all of us to be tough,
Mary, the baby of the family. Yeah, she's. I don't know what to say about her. Very strong, very stern, opinionated. Must listen to her opinions. Must listen. Now you can pretend to listen, but she'll ask you questions later. Be ready for a test, a follow-up test. After giving any opinion of hers, you be ready for a follow-up test. My mom is more the farm girl, but it's like if you would say Cambodia country, that would she be, She comes from an educated family, but schooling for her was very different because it wasn't a priority for women, to have schooling and stuff. So, in all actualities, my mom doesn't read or write in Khmer, but she speaks it. She can kind of, like a basic kindergarten level reading. But she doesn't have much for that. She's more a numbers girl. She knows how to, do numbers. That wasn't not common. That was very common over there because what you needed to do was you needed to know how to do your job. If the family ran a business doing, horses and shit like that and stables, that's what you did. You know how to raise the horse. You know how to, It didn't matter if you knew how to read or this and that unless you were doing the books for the family. If they planned on making you the bookkeeper for the family, then yeah, you're going to school for the reading and the writing and all that stuff. But other than that, you did whatever your job was that the family did for a living in Cambodia. The family, like I said, they owned a farm. She worked on a farm.
Tell me your father's background.
Yeah, prior military before the refugee situation in Cambodia, and he's always go-getter. When he was a younger man, he ran around the streets the way anybody does growing up, doing what you got to do, a little hustle, this and that. Nobody had real jobs and stuff back then, and he had to do his hustle. He made his money.
Home, and I just remember my dad belligerently screaming, and he was really mad about something. But I was really young, and I just remember, yeah. So I just remember sitting at the NES, and I was like ready to play with the NES or something. I just remember, oh yeah, I get to hold the controller, and I turn it on. And I remember my dad was still screaming at my brothers in the room, and somehow my second oldest brother gets in trouble for it, which he had no involvement in this thing other than the fact that he played the game, and that was it. So my dad gets upset that he swapped stickers with this game at the time and gave a different game. My dad confronted him on it, and he lied. So we all get back home, and I'm holding the controller, and my dad comes out of nowhere with a freaking drywall hammer, and he just starts smashing the Nintendo NES with the drywall hammer. He was so pissed, and like over and over and over again. And I just remember that was like the first time I was gonna play NES, and the last time I wouldn't ever get to. So I didn't even get to play with the console.
I got blamed for everything.
But you got
it was him and Satya who had the mastermind of switching the stickers out because they wanted the game.
Yes.
Sorry, it didn't get whooped. I got yelled at. I got blamed for it. The SNES console was smashed. All my freaking Marvel comic, or what is it, my Marvel cards that I had that I was saving, the baseball cards, everything was thrown into a tin mop can that my dad had with lighter fluid on it, and he burnt it up. All the other games that we had, he threw it in there and burnt it all up. You know, so Dad, I don't know why me, why I got yelled at for it. Thank you, I appreciate it. My dad said that he's gonna teach me a lesson. I don't know why he pointed at me. Instead of saying it to Sorya, he looked at me. He was like, "I'm gonna teach you guys. You know, I'm gonna teach you a lesson." You know, this is why I'm just standing there like, "What the hell did I do to you? I didn't do nothing."
I think in my dad's defense, out of his rage, I think he probably thought all of the games were Sorya's in his anger, tyrant that he had going on, and so he probably thought he was teaching Ray a lesson by like saying, "I'm going to teach you a lesson and I'm going to burn all your brother's shit in front of you." But he didn't realize that he was actually burning Ray's shit too in front of him, and Ray was just too scared to be like, "But those are mine. Why are you burning
I did say it was mine. He just looked at me and said he don't care. I was
I was actually born here in Long Beach, in St. Mary's. And then I moved to live with that guy for a while, my cousin. And we lived all freaking 8 of us, because I was the firstborn. It was my mom, my dad, me, and then his whole fam bam, which is his mom, his dad, and 3 kids, him included, being one of the 3. And we had 8 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment. It was never a boring day. Never a boring day. We came over here as refugees. So.
Our parents coming from Cambodia, who had to deal with the whole Cambodian genocide, if you want to say, you know.
Before the Khmer Rouge happened, you know, we were a big functioning society, and we were one of the largest pre-industrial society to have ever existed. And to even know that type of knowledge about your own culture, that's very strong. You know, a lot of people don't even know that we were one of the biggest society that was functioning. We have things like great architects and, you know, art and history. Just there's so much, you know, and it's wiped out.
Pol Pot did it, so, you know what I mean, technically so he can manipulate the people to get what he wants. He wanted a equal, you know, thing for the whole people, but it was horrible. They were torturing bad. I'm talking about pulling out your tongue, cutting it, you know what I mean, cutting limbs off slowly, you know, stuff like that. It's pretty bad. You know, it's kind of sucks because the majority of the people that was doing it were like little kids that they can manipulate, you know, and some of it could have been our uncles that was only 12 or 10 years old. You know, all the landmines, everything over there, all kids, you know, they grabbed a bunch of kids, manipulated them to do all that stuff.
So the amount of bombs they used in World War II, they bombed us that much times 2 without congressional approval.
Like all that stuff you see on TV, we lived it, you know, the Rodney King riots, you know, in the LA, Long Beach, we was in the middle of all that.
Check it out. They obviously have plans to deal with it, and as we said before, they've allocated $1 million to overtime in case things like this happen. So they are obviously carrying out a thought-out plan.
In the meantime, don't go near this area.
Living wasn't always, you know, we didn't always have the best shit in the world, but we always had stuff.
I was on Myrtle in Anaheim, and Sorya was on 10th and Martin Luther King. And we had law in Anaheim and Gundry.
Everybody talk about hood this, hood that. It's what you make it. It's what you make it. You want to be afraid of the ghetto? Yeah, be afraid of the ghetto. Be very afraid.
Oh man, living on MLK, you know, constantly moving up and down from MLK was a trip. You know, we went from like one of the baddest neighborhoods, you know, down on 9th and MLK to a decent spot, you know, on MLK on 20th, which was cool because compared to 9th, there was all the essays and all that. And, you know, Hispanics and Asians didn't very get along. When we moved up to the 20th, it's pretty decent because we had all the blacks and they actually got along with us.
There's MLK and 20th Street. You know, we stay right down the block from 2-1 and Lewis. Everybody knows about that. Who's from Long Beach? You know, anybody into Warren G will know about that. Snoop Dogg, freaking Nate.
I remember trying to go to Lamb's house or meet up with Sorya or Lamb to go to VIP Record. It was a journey because we'll have to map out, you know, the destination of like, okay, this is a safe route. We have to go here first, and then we'll pause at, you know, as we're going down to VIP, we'll hide behind the tree. It's like, oh man, there to go, let's hide. And then we'll see like a car coming by, like a Cadillac, you know, tinted windows. It's like, oh shit, we gotta hide. So we hide behind the trash can or find something, you know, to hide us from harm. So it's crazy.
The beginning of every January, I think it's like 14th or something like that, the second week of January, they do a parade right on our street here, Martin Luther King Street. And it's at least a good 10 miles or something like that, because they start off way downtown Long Beach and they walk all the way up here to 20th Street. You know? So when they do that, everybody comes out, and it ends right here next to the park. We have Martin Luther King Park over there. All of the people from the parade who ends up walking in the parade, and all of the viewers of the parade end up walking as the parade dies down towards the end. They'll make their way to the park, and there's barbecue and there's food and stuff like that. But that's like the only day where it was cool just to come kick it. It didn't matter. It didn't matter your culture. It didn't matter your race. You know, because it was Martin Luther King Day. Non-violent, non-violence, non-violence. So we had a non-violent day.
Plus, there was too many cops outside.
Way too many cops.
Lamb, Sorya, Law, and I all went to the same junior high school. I met Sorya in 6th grade. Lamb I met in the 7th grade. And the way we met, we were in history class together. And he asked me for a pencil. He didn't just ask me, he kind of demanded a pencil. And I didn't have an extra pencil to give him.
The fool's like, I ain't got a pencil for you. Shut up, fool. You're white. I know you got a pencil. Give me a pencil.
Give me a pencil or I'm gonna jump you. And I wasn't gonna take shit from him, so I said, no, I don't have a pencil. And here's Sorya coming in, being a hero. That's how he always is, because he just met the guy a couple times. They were cool. He was like, hey man, hey, Lamb, chill out, that's the homie. I feel so dumb.
These two fools about to fight. I had Aaron in 3rd period in 6th grade when we used to go on PE, so that's how I got to know him very well. And then me and Lamb became good friends because we were neighborhood kids. We saw each other on the bus every day going to school. We saw each other on the bus coming back home, you know? And here it is, my two homies are about to fight each other over a pencil now.
I remember Lamb telling me, you're lucky, white boy, you're lucky you know Sorya.
You can't fight him, dude. That's my homie. That's not gonna be cool. It was like, watch, bitch, I'm gonna jump you. And
but I'm glad that happened though, man, cause that was some dumb shit, dude, over a pencil. He stood up for the guy and put me in place, and now we're all the bestest of friends and brothers, still to this day. About 23 years of friendship, you know. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was always into martial art.
Sorya does kickboxing.
It was also kickboxing.
Me and him always kind of play spar, but man, I knew if he were to get serious, I would have been knocked out real quick.
Currently been in the gym, in and out, for maybe around about 10 years. I've known Sorya maybe around about 7 years. We used to be a personal trainer of mine. A lot of times we would come directly to my home. Very, very reliable gentleman. A lot of trials and tribulations that he taught me and helped me through, giving me advice with personal development and my physical so-called journey to get my body better. And say he's just a great guy all the way around, you know.
I came here in 91, late 91, and later on I met Sorya, and you know, we've been training, we've been knowing each other for a long time. And yeah, so Sorya, he's a real good person, you know, real good person to talk to and enlighten. His conscience is lifted, and we just keep lifting each other's conscience, both in health and in the fight game, because we like to fight.
It's just me. Let me show you guys something. I call this, everybody's like, oh, this is Sparta. Yeah. People know it like that. We also call this thing, the inside kick.
Yeah, I remember hearing about the Oceanside fight.
Interaction took place in Oceanside.
We were DJing this party.
Partying, DJing, setting everything up. People start showing up.
But I remember seeing a tub full of liquor. I was really young and dumb trying to fit in. I just remember seeing bottles everywhere. I remember what I did, I grabbed a bottle of Jose Cuervo, a whole fifth. And I remember my goal was to finish the whole thing.
Sorya asked me like, hey, you wanna go outside for a cigarette? So we walked outside, opened the sliding door and just walked outside. And then when we stepped outside, there was two good dudes, you know, smoking a cigarette. So me and Sorya didn't think anything of it at the time, but
I saw some guy kick a trash can over. I just tapped my buddy down, I'm like, hey man, come with me.
I should go tell him something, you know, like, you know, tell him what's up. I'm like, nah, man, just leave it alone.
He comes with me and I just look at the guy and say, hey, can you pick that shit up, please? You kick him over the trash can. And as I say, can you pick that shit up? This guy goes like, what you say to me? Watching, motherfucker, and throws a kick.
Next thing you know, he threw a kick at me out of nowhere. I blocked it and, you know, knocked him out.
La does some Bruce Lee shit, slaps his kick down, same hand hits that guy in the face.
And then next thing you know, like 15 guys rushed us out of nowhere. You know, 5 was on me, 10 was on Sorya. So we were there like fighting for about at least a good, 5-10 minutes. And then somehow I broke free, and when I broke free, all the other guys rushed Sorya. So I ran inside, you know, grab the other guys. So I tried to grab Lamb, but Lamb was hella drunk already. So I tried to grab Joe and, you know, all the other guys, and, you know, everybody twisted already. So I'm like, man, who did I get? So I ran back out, and I saw Ya, and then I saw this long ass PVC pipe, like, you know, those plastic pipe that you see like pool user use. So I grabbed one that was like probably like 15 feet long or something like that. It was long as hell, so I fucking picked it up, started swinging it, and then as I swung it, it broke a piece off each time right at the end, and every time it broke, it came into like a sharp point, and it was cutting people left and right. And Ya was able to escape. He jumped over the gate, you know, to the other side, so that way he escaped. So when I saw that, I dropped it down and ran back inside.
I blacked out. I wake up, I see blood everywhere. Like hole. I seen a big ass hole in the wall, 2 holes in the wall.
As I ran back inside the house, some guy tripped me, and I did a tumble. I did a somersault, right? And I remember when I got up, I was like, who the hell tripped me? So I turned around, and there was this black fool, like fucking on swole. I was like, man, that dude's on swole. So he's just mad as hell. And I saw his head, and it was like kind of cut up from that thing I swung. So he put up his duke, so I put up my duke. So he swung and hit me in my lip. And then me watching Bruce Lee, I got crazy because every time, you know, somebody hit me, I just get insane. So I swung back, hit him like left and right, and got him to a headlock and started pounding the shit out of his head. And then next thing you know, I ran his head and my elbow into the wall, and it freaking created this 2 holes.
That night, I barely came back fishing from, I forgot which lake. When I came into the room, since me and Ya shared rooms, this fool was hiding underneath the blankets, and I was trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with him. So first thing I thought, okay, he probably came back with the guys all tipsy or whatnot, not wanting our parents to know. So this fool finally pulls down his blanket, and I looked at his face. The first thing I thought was, God damn, what the hell happened?
We all just kind of give him this mortified look like, what happened to your face? And he had this giant, like, swollen eye that was purple and blue, and it was just terrible looking.
So I finally asked him, and my blood was boiling after he told me, even though I'm the little brother, you fend for your family.
I'm telling you, there was broken shit everywhere. Broken things everywhere, holes in the wall, blood everywhere, and none of it was my friends, dude, thank God. And it was only 3 of them against like 15 of those guys, dude.
Saddam Hussein must disarm himself, or for the sake of peace, we will lead a coalition to disarm him.
The history of Iraq is unquestionably that they lie. They have lied to the United States, they've lied to the United Nations, they've lied to the inspectors.
I remember one of the first things he told me when I met him, he was like, yeah, man, when I grow up, I'm going to join the Marines, or I'm going to join the military. And I was just like, whoa, like that's cool, you know what I mean? Because when you're a kid, you just think honorable, And it all makes sense because if you go into his house, you see like just military stuff everywhere. His dad was in the military. So it's embedded in his blood.
Knowing his family and the way we grew up, being over and his dad, the way his dad is looked in the military and stuff, it makes sense looking back on that now. At that time, I didn't realize it, but his dad really was proud that he joined the Marines, and rightly so.
He was looking for a way out because, growing up where we were, it wasn't the best ideal location, but at the same time, he looked up to what my dad did as his career in the military, and so it was kind of expected out of my brother, out of the 3 of us in the siblings, because my dad talked us up a lot about joining the military and how it would help pay for your education and it can help better your future. So it was expected out of my brother.
Yeah, I felt sad because you hear stories of the war and stuff, and you don't want anything to happen to your boy, and that was one of those things where you're just like, man, is my brother going to war? Is like, I want to wish him the best, but it's always that scary factor that you can lose him too.
When Sorya first told me he was joining the Marines, we were still kids at that time, barely out of high school. I was kind of scared for him. It was good to see him commit to something, but that commitment had a lot of responsibility behind it, a lot of danger behind it.
It was a lot of emotions in there because it was during the time of the Iraq War with Saddam Hussein.
At the time, I was proud of him for his bravery, for wanting to go to war. But at the same time, reality set in, and we were pretty scared inside. It didn't really show too much, but yeah.
បាទសប្បាយចិត្តនៅពេលកូនទៅធ្វើទាហានបាទសប្បាយចិត្តហ៎ហើយពេលដែលយប់ហ្នឹងនៅទៅហ្នឹងបានប្រាប់ប៉ាហ្នឹងប៉ាអត់មានខាត់អីទេខ្ញុំអត់ខាត់កូនទេគាត់ថាវាចង់ដឹងរឿងជីវិតទាហានយ៉ាងម៉េចវាប៉ាប្រាប់ទៅទាហានហើយយ៉ាងម៉េចខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងថាតើជីវិតទាហានយ៉ាងម៉េចប៉ាមានខាត់ទេហើយជាពិសេសវាកើតនៅក្នុងនេះវាអាចទៅបម្រើជាតិកាំងបានដូចប៉ានៅស្រុកខ្មែរប៉ាប្រាប់ទៅទាហានប៉ាបម្រើជាតិខ្មែរដែរ
I was scared out of my life from when he told me in junior high school. It's a different feeling when they tell you in junior high school and you just see the stuff on TV, like be all you can be, versus once you're grown up to be a young man, you understand the danger that can come with joining the military, going to war. Then when the time finally came, it was like a blink of an eye. Life passes you by, And I remember some people were against it, and I was like, I didn't say anything. All I did was try to support him. I remember I was one of the few that was like, hey man, he's doing it anyways, dude.
My dad, and Otto went to go see him at Camp Pendleton the day before, because they give you, it's called Liberty, and they give you Liberty. They give them Liberty the day before graduation so they can see their family and hang out and stuff like that. And when I saw him, I started crying because he was so skinny.
We saw him sucked up in his jawline, like his skin was under his bones. I remember like my stomach just dropped when I saw my boy like that, man.
Seeing Sorya when he graduated and, from the Marines, losing all that weight, I could tell he actually tried to better himself, to do what he can to stay in the Marines, I guess, if you want to say, because I'm pretty sure they put you through hell and back.
We were on a family vacation with my dad and family, and there was a display case of Zippos, and one had the Marines emblem on it, and Sorya was, I think he was already on tour at that time, and he was going to come back. So my dad, we both thought it'd be a cool idea to buy it for him and give it to him when he got back.
Yeah, they bought me a nice lighter that was a Zippo, all black and gold. On the inside, the brass on the inside showed real well. And the Zippo had the Marine Corps emblem on it, the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. And it was real nice.
When he got back, he told me a story about him pretty much almost dying because of the Zippo, because he valued it so much, coming from, especially from my pops, but, from my family. And I guess he dropped it and getting into the Humvee and had to go back and grab it.
We were packing up to leave, and as I'm going to pack up and leave, the Zippo falls out my pocket, and while the vehicle is moving, I jump out the vehicle, go grab the Zippo, and jump back into the vehicle. And then these are vehicles, you think truck or something like that, but these are LARs. These are light armored reconnaissance vehicles. They're pretty much tanks on 8 wheels, So as I was coming out of it, it fell out of my pocket. I'm full gear and everything, my weapon on and everything. It's like, oh man, my Zippo. I wasn't gonna leave it. So I jumped out the vehicle while I was moving to grab it, jumped back in the vehicle. You're rolling through somebody's hood, and you're all cripped out, and you're in a blood neighborhood. Right. All right. You're gonna stop. If you drop a pack of cigarettes, you're gonna stop and grab a pack of cigarettes? No, just keep going. You're going through the wrong hood, But I mean, in a sense, we were there for a couple months. This is my little keepsake, and I didn't want it to disappear.
It was a dangerous situation, but this item that we gave him held a lot of importance to him, and that's how much he cares for his friends and his family.
So they sent me to Iraq a second time. This is when I was part of the Charlie Company, and there's some really good guys there. Some guys that are still friends with me today. That's who I went to combat with. Those are my, frontline buddies. I remember sending us to build up for Fallujah. We're going to take over that city. And that's when most of the action happened for me. Some of the things I saw were other places like Haditha, or Ramadi, but I remember a lot of stuff going on in Fallujah. That's when we were taking direct mortar hits while trying to control the bridge that led into the city. They started bombing us because we were controlling the bridge. I don't know if it was a setup or not, but there was a family walking over, and I just remember I hear mortars coming overhead, and then it starts coming around us, and I see this little girl walking up with their family. All I think about doing was just running up to grab the girl, pick her up, and run to safety. And that's what I did. I don't remember anybody getting hit, but I remember it was within 150, yards away, so it was pretty close. And I mean, anybody knows about splash damage from mortar can be pretty amazing how far a piece of shrapnel travels. And there's just one time where we were just holding position, show of force is what they called it. And we were taking direct mortar hit. This was talking about landing 5-10 feet away from us at times. The first time it happened, we were unsuspecting, and then we got a radio call. My unit pops up. And we're like, all right, we'll go investigate. Well, we still need to lead a little show of force on the bridge. So there was one vehicle, there was an armored truck that was there too, a 7-ton holding some ammo. I don't know why he was stationed there. He was just probably taking a nap or something. I don't know what his command was. But we started taking a direct mortar hit. It actually hit the ammo truck. After it hit the ammo truck, a couple mortars came down, and me and my buddy Patton was standing on the road, watching the road, and I hear it coming overhead, and we start looking, and we started running. And I hear one come really close, and he lands behind me. Patton's in front of me. I push this guy over the berm, and I jump on top of him as the mortar hits the ground, maybe 10 to 5 feet away from us. It was a fucking dud. The mortar was a fucking dud. That was fucking nuts. Yeah.
Him coming back, it was pretty frustrating because he had zero patience, and the zero patience, you can feel people's energy and such like that, and his energy was very negative.
When Sorya got out of the Marines, and he was having back issues and stuff, and he was going to the VA, and they were giving him just a shitload of pills to take, and I don't know everything it was, but it wasn't helping him.
Well, the VA would prescribe certain things. I know that a number of the veterans would get prescribed things like trazodone and such like that.
I remember Rachel telling me one time about Sorya with all these pills, and I had to make sure I watch out for my older brother. That kind of threw me off, because I always thought, it would be the older brother watching the little brother, but then later on I found out as we got older, we actually had to look out for each other. It wasn't just one person, it was everybody.
They had pain or they couldn't sleep and such like that, and they would get prescribed trazodone, which is an antipsychotic. It pretty much turned veterans into zombies.
To see my boy like that, emotionless, you know what I mean? No expressions on his face. It was so tough seeing that, man.
I remember all the friends just talking to her like, wow, we were all scared for him.
It hit me hard when I found out through Rage and the other guys about it. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't want to admit it, like he was taking it, but it is what it is,
Rather than be treated like a ticket, just another patient, and given half-assed treatment, my brother decided to medicate himself with medical marijuana instead. And I feel like, that's a better route.
I'm glad he's figured out and gotten off that stuff.
A little bit of beach time after the workout at the gym. A little mini workout, right? Come relax a little bit at Long Beach. Smell that fresh air. That port air. You know what, man? Everybody talk about hood this, hood that. It's what you make it. It's what you make it. You want to be afraid of the ghetto? Yeah, be afraid of the ghetto. Be very afraid. Take your ass and live yourself in that little prim, nice neighborhood. Pay all your money to that. Don't even own the place. Or you can live in the ghetto and be fucking ghetto fabulous and just happy with yourself. If you need all that other stuff, if you need all that stuff, then you need all that stuff. Go get it. And for me, I'm not worried about all that. I'm just trying to be happy with my family. I got chill. We got meat on the grill, barbecuing. Got the homie doing some recordings, making money. You know what I'm saying? I got what I need. I don't trip about that stuff. People do. I don't. We live a lot happier than a lot of people, man. A lot happier than